Happy Halloween, anyone. How's it going? Welcome back to Abhi on Camera, where today we're watching a movie so scary that it made me run out of the house. A movie so unnerving that it gave me nightmares for an entire week. Today, we're watching Labyrinth. You want to know why it scared me so much? Well, you're going to have to watch the video to find out. But, story time. Back when I was younger, I used to be friends with one of my neighbors, and we made it a thing to do a weekly movie night, going back and forth between houses. That week, I was at her house, and her parents put on Labyrinth. And I'm not joking, that movie unsettled me so much that despite it being a sleepover, I called my parents and I'm like, I'm sorry, I gotta go home. I left their house and I would never watch this movie again. I erased it from my mind. Until recently, I remembered it. I thought, I've been watching a couple horror movies to try and make videos out of them, but I'm just never scared enough to make any kind of good video out of it. So I thought, well, let's go back to a movie that actually scared me. So yes, I have seen maybe the first I don't know how much, a very small portion of the movie because I kind of ran out pretty quickly. But beyond that, I have never seen any of it. So if you enjoyed this reaction, consider hitting the like button. If you want to see more of my reactions, consider hitting the subscribe button. And if you don't want to do either, then let's just get into the movie. TriStar. It's been a while since I've watched a movie from TriStar. This is an old movie, 1986. Wait, Lucasfilm worked on this movie? Labyrinth. Yeah, see, this doesn't seem like the scary movie that I thought it was. Executive producer, George Lucas. I mean, I knew Lucasfilm, but still. It feels so weird that I've never watched this. So interesting to see young Jennifer Connelly too. I've only seen her in more recent movies, since this movie came out 14 years before I was born. She's trying to remember her lines, so she's LARPing. Yeah, see, there's no point in saying I've watched this before because I don't remember anything.
Pouring on into the garage. Oh.
Well, on one hand, that's being kind of like mean to the dog, sure, but also, you're gonna let that furry of a dog come in while it's soaked?
You're an hour anymore. Well, I assume you did. I'd like it if you had a date. You should have dates at your age.
I mean, I was in the same situation. The automatic babysitter for my little sister. I never hated it, but I was constantly just taking care of the kids. Not just my sister, like other kids too. That is the creepiest toy ever. Not the creepiest toy ever, but that is fairly creepy. Where the wild things are. Wizard of Oz, definitely a fantasy. Snow White, Grimm's Fairy Tales.
Practically broke down the door.
Such a teenage thing.
Lancelot, I hate it.
It's one thing to go through the teenage stages yourself. It's another thing that my sister is going through the teenage stages.
Save me.
And to see her become so grumpy and awful.
Called on the goblins for help.
Okay, so there are the goblins, which means she accidentally, it came to life what her stories was.
Words, the goblins. But the girl knew.
Those goblins.
The goblins would
They definitely scared me as a kid.
and turn it into a goblin. And so the girl.
It's also weird coming back knowing the whole legend now of replacing babies that across different mythologies about creatures that would take and replace babies with copies that were creatures. Like in this case, they would take the baby, but they also put a goblin child in its place.
Stop! You're right. I know that's not hard, is it?
Honestly, it's more funny now.
Right now.
Ta-da! She said the words. Oof. The crying stops immediately. See, this is the big reason why this movie creeped me out so much as a kid. I was talking to my sister earlier. When I watched this movie, my sister was a newborn. And I was super defensive over her. I was super protective. I loved playing the big brother role. So the idea of my sister being taken away
Why aren't you crying?
was horrifying. And, you know, I was just sitting there and I couldn't exactly focus on the movie because it was just gnawing in my head. What would I do if my sister was just gone? Yeah, those goblins definitely creeped me out as a kid.
You're him, aren't you? You're the Goblin King. I want my brother back, please.
The Goblin King looks pretty fabulous.
But it is that I don't appreciate what you're trying to do for me.
Here's the thing.
My brother back.
If she did choose I want fame and fortune instead of the baby, what would exactly happen? Is like the baby erased from reality? Right? Will the parents come back and like what if she gets in trouble? Right? What if she gets in trouble with the parents for letting the kid get kidnapped?
Turn back before it's too late.
I can't.
I mean, it feels like it's too late. You're not in her bedroom anymore. You're just standing in front of a painted background.
Doesn't look that far.
It's further than you think.
Doesn't look that far. There's a maze in the middle. Even if it's like only a mile away, that maze is gonna add at least 3 times the amount of distance.
13 hours in
Excuse me?
Wow. Going to the back. That would definitely not happen in on screen at least in a PG movie these days.
Can you help me?
Now standards have changed.
Labyrinth is.
I mean, there's a bunch of vines. You could try climbing. I know that if I was ever put in this situation, I wouldn't dismiss climbing as an option.
It's hopeless asking you anything.
How did you not see that? Or did it not appear until after you said the right question?
Going in there, are you?
Look at those walls. I would 100% try to climb those.
You go left or right?
They both.
The only trick I know when it comes to labyrinths is just stick out your left hand and follow that left wall and eventually you'll get out. But
That's all the help.
that might work on an actual maze. It's not going to work very well on a magical maze.
For granted, you.
In all fairness, like, I may have been creeped out by that thing, but Hoggle and all the goblins look amazing. Right? It's that practical stuff. And again, it's Lucasfilm. And their practical stuff back in the day was spectacular. Their practical stuff today is eyeballs. Is still cool, but it's hampered by budget usually. And you know, the whole everyone's like, the design, the ideas behind the design are just not the same as they used to be back then. Like, that Hoggle would not be so wrinkly and creepy if this movie was made today. Super handy that that if it's just a straight line like this, they can reuse one tiny piece of set and just change out the various trees and logs in it every single time. You can see where the physical set is versus where the painted endpoints are. Can you imagine how many times she had to run back and forth along this tiny little section? Hi. Very Alice in Wonderland, aren't you, little caterpillar?
Hello?
Oh, God.
That was incredible.
I thought she would, like, walk through the wall or something, but that was just a spectacularly done visual illusion. This definitely freaked me out, too. Just, again, the reason the movie scared me is because I kept putting my sister in those situations and imagining how, the possibility of her being turned into a monster. But, you know, coming back to this, no wonder they showed me this movie as when I was so young, because it's really not that big of a deal. Wait, this is a musical?
quiet.
How did I not? Seriously, just act like I haven't seen the movie, because how did I not remember this was a musical? I definitely can't keep any of these parts in because they're going to be copyright strike immediately, but it's fun. Well, thank you for convenient lipstick, but don't trust it. There's an artwork. What the?
Which one is which?
Let me guess. This is one of those one person tells the truth, one person tells a lie kind of puzzles.
We don't know. Then one of us always tells the truth, and one of us always lies.
What a classic riddle that is.
He always lies. I do not.
All right.
Man, I remember I used to know the solution to this riddle, but don't remember it offhand.
The castle. It's a piece of cake.
Yep, you failed. Oh, just the idea of all the hands.
Stop it.
We're helping hands.
Honestly, that is both freaky, and I love it. Now, can you imagine the other side of the walls where all the people are sticking their hands in?
Too late now.
Can you imagine how much time they planned out how the different hands would make different faces? 'Cause they're all so unique. I mean, like the idea of using the thumbs, but lighting up the thumbs to make them eyes.
She'll never give up.
It's a bit too early to give up. Also, could you not make that ball just a little bigger so everyone can see properly?
Realizes she has.
Oublie it.
It's a place to put people.
Ooh, I love that.
Room closet.
Magic door. Could you imagine how useful that would be? You'll have a door and just like be able to have it change to different locations. In the comments, I wanted you to put, if you had a magic door that could only lead you to one place, you could put it anywhere, but it would only lead to one place, what would that place be? For me, that would be my bathroom. Because it doesn't matter where I am. Public bathrooms are disgusting. Sometimes bathrooms are disgusting. So I would love to just walk into my own bathroom whenever I felt like it.
They're just false alarms.
Oh, please. I haven't said it for such a long
I haven't said it.
All right, but
Nothing.
Oh, it's you!
you dance. Oh, yes.
And you, Sarah.
You got a big nose, so the bog of eternal stench would be a really bad place for you. Well, in all honesty, it's not too terrible at this point. Lots of wandering. Look at that. See, now, I think I've forgotten so much about the movie that the only thing I remember, it doesn't even exist. Because I remember a scene of the baby in its crib with shadowy hands grabbing it with as the monsters are shrouded by darkness. And we've gotten this far into the movie, almost halfway through the movie, and that scene doesn't exist. Which means all this time, the only thing I've remembered is something that isn't even in the movie. Oh, such a funny back end to it.
Is that all it does? Is smell?
No, believe me, that's enough.
Yeah, no.
Worst thing
Terrible smell can be a horrible torture on your own.
you'll give those back to me.
Being a bit rude.
There's the castle.
Jeez, look how far away that is.
My rightful.
Like, she did say it would only take you part of the way. Hello, old birdman. On a throne of books. I like that visual.
Can you help me?
Oh, you're not a bird. Nope, you got a bird coming out of your head.
It's so stimulating being your head.
Okay, you're just a hat? Because it looks like you're really growing out of a skull.
Why did you say that?
I like that. Never been a friend before. Run, I'm out of here.
No, I'm not. Hoggle ain't no it.
Yeah, see, Hoggle, if this movie was made today, would be a cute sidekick.
You big yippee.
What is that? There are little creatures on the end of the spears, and you're attacking something from Where the Wild Things are. Thank you, convenient magical rock. It's a great baseball. I know if I would have to do that, I'd probably miss. Despite me actually playing baseball. I was never very good at pitching. My aching sushi.
Where did they come from?
They always appear when you need to make a choice.
Which should we choose out of these two ugly characters?
They're 100% gonna talk to you and be like, how dare you call us ugly? I mean, you could smack the door with the knocker. You don't have to put it back in his mouth. Clever girl. Keep his nose shut. He has to breathe. Though, you know, it wouldn't work if, you know, they didn't breathe.
Sorry.
Hey, don't just go through. The last time you just walked through a door, you fell into a pit.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
Yep, nothing to be afraid of at all.
Ludo?
I'm coming, Sarah.
Well, if it isn't you,
Ooh, the second you heard Hoggle Help, you went back.
you go. I'm surprised at you losing your
I want to know what the behind the scenes of Hoggle is. Oh, jeez, man, the puppet was in bad shape. This is green screen. Green screen or 1986, this could be rotoscoped. Oh, the move, right. See, I forgot the movie was a musical already. Honestly, watching this, it's almost sad that, like, Hollywood is just moved past the art of puppetry. No one does, like, puppets very anymore. Because you can just use CGI. Even, like, the closest thing to a puppet these days, like, Grogu. He's not... While he's, like, practical, he's also a robot. Just the creepy body horror that is too cutesy to really pay attention to right here. Definitely one of the most threatening bits of this movie. Right? We're gonna behead you. Yeah, I'm not ashamed to say that'd never work because I don't have the arm strength to pull myself up a wall. Damn it. Well, you found it. The bog of eternal stench. You made it here after all. It's like one big fart joke.
You mean rescue you?
Gotta say, those sounds are starting to... Just the sounds alone are starting to gross me out. Oof. How did you... Ludo! Everyone's back together again. Bye-bye. Never mind. He's back. I'm just watching a huge guy in a suit fighting a tiny little squirrel puppet. Like, so much of this movie is Jennifer Connelly just being shocked, surprised, confused face at, like, random things. Idiot! Oh. Oof. Oof. Yep, more arm strength. I'd be doomed. Clearly, judging by the reverb, that howl will do something cool. Man can earthbend just by yelling.
Thank you.
Don't eat it.
A lifesaver.
Poison. Give it to Ludo. And you ate it Cinderella style. So, when he first gave it to her, he said looking into the orb will see her dreams. So is she about to trip out and see her ideal future? Just so many ball tricks. Sphere tricks, orb tricks. Which sounds the best. All I know is it makes me think of an old advertisement I saw when I was a kid. Right? It's like a mazo ball. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da. I'll put it up in the video if I can remember what it was.
You're about to be mesmerized. It's here. It's wild. It's sweeping the nation. It's Fushigi!
This is just the weirdest thing ever. Like, she's just stuck in this dress. Everyone's wearing such creepy masks. And then they're playing this like romantic song over this. Like, sure, there's been plenty of stories about like the main character falling in love with the immortal character, but that's only okay when there's when, I don't know, they look the same age, I guess. Time to change the battery. What was I saying? Oh yeah, right. This feels so much creepier because he's like very much older than her. Just Like, the song and that visual is so, like, disparate. And look at that. Those are so creepy. Those faces poking in around you, surrounding you from all angles. And then it's just like, la-ba-da-ba-da-da. Love song behind it.
Well, look here.
Ooh, well, thank you, convenient trash person, for reminding her of her little brother.
That's what you were looking for, wasn't it, my dear?
Actually, no. Is it a trick?
I forgot.
What have we got here?
You just imagine, right? You think, oh, I've woken up from the dream. Then you open up the door and it's like, oh, never mind, you're still here. Oof.
Betsy, oh, you remember Betsy? There they are. That
Using things to distract her. There's meaning in that somewhere.
see, don't you, dear?
Getting all caught up in objects rather than people. Oh, look, she's got the Goblin King on her desk. Like a little blue statue of him. Was that there beforehand? Hell of a visual. You see it all cracking down. Again, the being in today where everything's CGI, it's so refreshing to go back to an old movie like this where everything is practical. Tearing down an actual room rather than CGI room falling away. Oh, that is so cool. The door is closing and then this guy will walk out. Come on, save the day, Huggle. Good job, Huggle. It's just a mech suit. Wait, you can see the strings off Hoggle for a second there. After all these years, it's weird to find out the movie I was so scared of turned out to just be a weirder looking Wizard of Oz.
Oh, piece of cake.
You totally jinxed the hell out of it. Never say it's gonna be easy. Ludo, could you do more earthbending?
I hit something, yes?
That fountain just 100%, million percent never would happen in today's movies. Those little knights, the fact that they're like pulling their steeds around by the hair. Good job, Dynamis. Oh, ruined it, Dynamis.
And I'll see that you're well treated.
I love his confidence. The rocks have arrived. Run for your lives. Ooh, the chickens.
Nice throw!
It's got a machine gun too. Oof. I feel like that hey no problem was some kind of like, hey, don't make this PG-13. See, he's alive. He didn't die.
No.
Was here. Where is he now?
That's the only way it could have.
MC Escher, you're doomed. More songs. Gotta stop imagining this gravity and try to get try to walk to him. Or it might be time to ask for some help now. Baby, stop crawling around. Do you think? I wonder how MC Escher would feel when like his whole trippy stair design became such a staple in so many movies. Jump for Toby. Just jump. Ooh, that's so much higher than it looked like 2 seconds ago. And everything's broken apart.
And I have done it all for you.
You did one thing that she wanted. Oh, I take the kid away. What else?
I will be your slave.
How will you be her slave if she does as you say? Sounds like the other way around, huh? I love that. Like, he's taking that silence as like, maybe I'm convincing her. She's just trying to remember the line. She's like, what am I supposed to say here? That's still a statue of him. Or has the statue changed slightly? No, it still looks like him.
Yeah. Yes, I'm home.
Putting away all the things.
Goodbye, Sarah.
Aww. I was wondering if they were just gonna let us go. Let us have a goodbye through the mirror. Oh, she had the MC Escher painting in the room. Now, I'm sure that there's connections to everything. Is that a Winnie the Pooh?
Should you need
Cats!
any reason?
Oh, how that's been ruined by the movie.
So,
Everyone's there. This is a super happy ending. Seriously, just imagining the what if now. If I had just stayed to the end. Unless it's gonna zoom out and be like, oh, creepy. But probably not. That's it. Well, that was it. The scariest movie I'd ever seen in my life. And it turns out that the scene from my nightmares that I was always scared of, it didn't even exist. It just fabricated from my nightmares, and I just assumed that was in the movie, and it wasn't. Here I was thinking going into this video that I'd get to the scene and I'd be like, this has haunted my dreams, and it just wasn't there. It doesn't. It's crazy. All in all, what this movie turned out to be is like a more, it's like Wizard of Oz, but with more weird looking puppets. Weird looking as in like the design, as per the puppet construction, all of that was great. Just this movie is like a bastion of like fantasy, but a practically done fantasy, right? The small hand-built sets, and then the painted backgrounds, and all the puppets, and then Ludo with a larger suit. It was spectacular. Of course, there was also just a little bit of CGI with the bubbles and that weird owl, some little green screen and a rotoscoping. Honestly, I don't have too much to say except like I wish I could go back to little me and say, don't stress out. This is fine. It's an achievement, at least. This movie that I've been avoiding for years now is finally done. Now, I still feel like I want to find a really scary movie. So, please, if you've gotten this far, put in the comments. Give me suggestions for scary movies. And I don't just mean like the all-time horror classics. I want something that will really freak me out. Great movie. Jennifer Connelly, David Bowie, they both did great. The puppets and everything were great. There's nothing else I can say about it except that I was wrong. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. What was your favorite part of this movie? Over here is whatever YouTube decides to show you. Over here is a playlist of my videos. And on my face is the subscribe button. Like, comment, subscribe, criticize even. I don't mind. See ya.